ACE. PTE Academic. Summarize spoken text. Practice test 1. You will hear a short lecture. Write a summary for a fellow student who was not present at the lecture. You should write 50 to 70 words. You have 10 minutes to finish this task. Your response will be judged on the quality of your writing and how well your response presents the key points presented in the lecture.
Socialization, the process whereby an individual learns to adjust to a group, or society, and behave in a manner approved by the group, or society. According to most social scientists, socialization essentially represents the whole process of learning throughout the life course and is a central influence on the behavior, beliefs, and actions of adults as well as of children. Socialization typically occurs in two stages. Primary socialization takes place from birth through adolescence and is guided by primary caregivers, educators, and peers. Secondary socialization continues throughout one's life, and especially whenever one encounters new situations, places, or groups of people whose norms, customs, assumptions, and values may differ from one's own. Through socialization, the individual internalizes the norms and ideologies of society. Socialization encompasses both learning and teaching and is thus the means by which social and cultural continuity are attained. Socialization is strongly connected to developmental psychology. The word socialization can also mean the process of making social. The socialization of a dog or a cat with humans and with other dogs or cats can establish positive behaviors for pets. Through socialization, individuals acquire the knowledge, language, social skills, and value to conform to the norms and roles required for integration into a group or community. It is a combination of both self-imposed, because the individual wants to conform, and externally imposed rules, and the expectations of the others. In an organizational setting, socialization refers to the process through which a new employee learns the ropes, by becoming sensitive to the formal and informal power structure and the explicit and implicit rules of behavior.
Please pause the video and write the summary of this lecture. Also, cross-check your response with the answers given at the end of the last exercise. This video has 3 exercises. For more exercises and tutorials for PTE, subscribe to our channel and press the notifications bell. Please pause the video and write the summary of this lecture. Also, cross-check your response with the answers given at the end of the last exercise. This video has 3 exercises. Summarize spoken text. Practice test 2. There have been 2 major population explosions in the course of human social evolution. By the end of the Paleolithic period, the world's human population is estimated to have been between 5 and 6 million, an average of 0.1 people per square mile, 0.04 person per square kilometer, of the Earth's land area. Following the Neolithic or agricultural revolution, the population made its first major leap, reaching over the short span of 8,000 years around 150 million by the year 1000 BC, 2.6 persons per square mile. For the next 2,500 years, there was relatively little change. World population had reached about 500 million by the middle of the 17th century. During this time any tendency for population to grow was punished by the checks of starvation and pestilence. Only with the Industrial Revolution of the 18th century did population growth break out again from its Malthusian fetters. From about 1700 there was a second and far more rapid population explosion. Since the late 1600s, the world's population has increased more than tenfold. This amounts to an average of 42 persons per square kilometer of the Earth's land area. This gives some measure of the difference between the 2 population revolutions of human history. There has been a dramatic acceleration not simply in population but in the rate of increase of population since industrialization took hold. Between 1650 and 1850 the average annual rate of increase of the world's population doubled, it doubled again by the 1920s, and more than doubled, once more, by the 1970s. Summarize spoken text. Practice test 3. Criminal behavior is defined by the laws of particular jurisdictions, and there are sometimes vast differences between and even within countries regarding what types of behavior are prohibited. Conduct that is lawful in one country or jurisdiction may be criminal in another, and activity that amounts to a trivial infraction in one jurisdiction may constitute a serious crime elsewhere. Changing times and social attitudes may lead to changes in criminal law, so that behavior that was once criminal may become lawful. For example, abortion, once prohibited except in the most unusual circumstances, is now lawful in many countries, as is homosexual behavior in private between consenting adults in most Western countries, though it remains a serious offense in some parts of the world. Once criminal, suicide and attempted suicide have been removed from the scope of criminal law in some jurisdictions. Indeed, in the U.S. state of Oregon, the Death with Dignity Act, passed in 1997, allows terminally ill individuals to end their lives through the use of lethal medications prescribed by a physician. Nonetheless, the general trend has been toward increasing the scope of criminal law rather than decreasing it, and it has been more common to find that statutes create new criminal offenses rather than abolishing existing ones. New technologies have given rise to new opportunities for their abuse, which has led to the creation of new legal restrictions. Just as the invention of the motor vehicle led to the development of a whole body of criminal laws designed to regulate its use, so the widening use of computers and especially the Internet has created the need to legislate against a variety of new abuses and frauds, or old frauds committed in new ways. Answer key. Practice test 1. Summary of the spoken text. Socialization, which is a continuous process in the life of an individual, enables him or her to meet the expected patterns of behavior in society. This process, which begins at home and continues in the workplaces, helps the individual to acquire the essential knowledge and skills required to perform his or her roles as part of the community. Answer key. Practice test 2. Summary of the spoken text. Human social evolution has witnessed two major population explosions since the Paleolithic period. One took place with the Industrial Revolution of the 18th century when population growth broke out from its Malthusian fetters for the second time, and the other was subsequent to the 18th century that was followed by a dramatic acceleration both in population and in the rate of increase in population. Answer key. Summarize the spoken text. Practice test 3. Criminal laws are subjective, that the definition of criminal behavior differs from country to country and within the same country and from time to time. What is considered unlawful at present might be considered lawful in the future. Further, the scope of criminal law tends to be widened as new technologies give rise to new opportunities for their abuse, leading to the creation of new legal restrictions. For more exercises and tutorials for PTE, subscribe to our channel and press the notifications bell.